Hey everyone, welcome back to FTB Infinity Evolved. And since the last episode, guys, haven't really done too much, just a bit more sorting and organization. You can see I added some more storage drawers in and did a little bit of organization. One thing I'm not too worried about are the items being shown on the front here. I'm not really a big fan of it. I believe it does kind of cause a little bit more lag if you have like a whole bunch of them going on. I don't think it's really going to cause too much if you have this much, but I actually wanted to try something out. There is a concealment key or something like that. So if we type in drawer, storage drawers, there's a concealment key. Duh. Show or hide item labels. And I'm not too worried about knowing exactly what's in what because I'm going to be setting it up in here. So, we're doing all of our stuff through in here. Now, actually, I did want to check one more thing, and unfortunately, I can't get to the back. I need a way into the back. I think one of these chests is basically empty. This little fella right there. I'm just gonna take a little peek on. Oh, darn it! Don't even have my don't even have my wrench ready. I need to look at this guy. So we got the provider module. I need to leave one item per inventory. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure that was selected. That way, we definitely do not have to worry about any of this because it will always make sure it leaves one of those items in each of these storage drawers here. That way, when we actually sort things back into our network, it knows exactly where to go because of the polymorphic item sync. So it's a nice little plus there. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a crafting, shall we? I want to try something out real quick. I'm going to hit that right there. I wasn't really a big fan of this whole system just because of this, but if I do that and if I request, ooh, that's pretty cool. See, now this makes life a little bit easier. You're missing one blaze powder. No, that's fine. Just request that. Go. Request successful. So, this isn't too bad. And then lastly, we just need to make this little fella, which is or dictionary that. And I have all of this kind of in my inventory at the moment, so we should be able to just do this. Click on once, and we have our drawer key. Click on that. Get our ender pearl thing out, and this guy, the concealment key. Now, hopefully this has more than just... Okay, good. Ooh, I like it. Yes! There we go, and I'm assuming we can undo it, which is really cool. And it has no durability. Awesome! I like it. And then eventually we'll add some more upgrades. Now, got a little bit more work to do on this today. I want to try to get into a little bit of more logistics pipes and get some more infrastructure set up for us. But last episode, we did set up a resonant machine frame in the use of a RF tools, RF monitor. So let's go ahead and make one of those real quick. Like I was saying last episode, I believe I said that, there might be an easier way of going about doing this. I'm not too worried about it because I want to try out this way because I haven't actually done it yet. So let's go ahead and request some stone. We'll go ahead and put two of those pieces back just because we don't need them. And this, like so, with the machine frame in the center will give us our RF Tools machine frame. And then I think from there, let's go ahead and take a look. We just need a little bit of redstone in that. So if we shift click that in there, and one of those, you're missing one machine frame. Put it in there. Do that. Take it. If we just do this, if we put this actually like in a chest, it'll make our life like so much easier. We could just go, boom. Look at that. Nice. RF monitor. Now I'm going to set this up on our biodiesel generator. This will hopefully allow us to keep this guy running when needed. Unlike now, but we do need a little bit of power, I guess. So let's set this up on here. RF monitor. All right, so currently it's got the refinery, MV wire connector. It just kind of shows it control when a redstone signal should be sent. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I like that. All right. So I'm actually going to go ahead and undo that for now because otherwise that's just going to keep running. We don't want it to really run at the moment. We're going to have to do a little bit of a reorganization here. So I'm just going to kind of move a few things around. We're going to lose power for just a minute. Come here, Mr. Oil Drum. And unfortunately, can I move him with the dolly maybe? Come on, little refinery, you can do it. Come on, no. I only wish. Well, no big deal. All right, so let's go ahead and set up on maybe here. I think that's not a bad idea, because then we could just supply power to the refinery like that. So let's go ahead and try to pre-set up this guy. If we get our hammer out, that's the only thing I don't really like about this, is it always put those little connectors in my hand after placing a capacitor. So we right-click the bottom. Let's see, that'll be input. We want output. Come on. There we go. All right, and I think, do we want output on the side of the RF monitor? This is something I'm not tremendously used to, but this is why we're testing and hoping it actually works. Let's place him there. All right, so we can see the refinery working. That's good news. We got fuel coming into the biodiesel generator. So it's kind of like our own little computer, our own little monitor here. I like it a lot. We have the HV capacitor. Let's go ahead and control when a redstone signal should be sent. Let's see. Open manual. GUI style flat. Gradient thick. Bevel. Bevel gradient. Flat. That's fine. Let's see. Let's do alarm. Oh, alarm level? Ooh. 15% on HV capacitor. Okay. Alright guys, and we're back, and I got our RF monitor working with our biodiesel generator. Just one little problem. It's that right there. It's gonna get a little obnoxious every once in a while. It's just gonna cut on for a second, and then cut off. Cut on, and then cut off. If we're using enough power, that is. So you can see it is working. Our HV capacitor has a little over 2 million RF in it, and then once it gets down to a little point, it turns on for just a second because, well, this thing does produce 4,096 RF per tick, so it doesn't really take too long for it to get above the little mark that it needs. Now, unfortunately, the RF monitor here, I've noticed it doesn't really have, like, I don't think it has like a scale that we can use that says, you know, hey, between this level, let's see, less, more, off, less, more. Yeah, see, I don't really know if there's like a level that we can set that has, you know, an in-between state. If there is, then let me know. I'm not really sure. I looked in the manual here. It says it kind of scans the 3x3 area around the monitor and stuff like that. So it just kind of tells you all of the connections like that. And you can see we have the HV wire connector, the refinery, and all of that stuff. But we only want to read from the HV capacitor. So that is exactly what I have selected at the moment, with more and alarm level set to 50, well, in this case, 51. 50 should be just fine. And it's just going to slowly trickle down because we do have some industrial craft machines that are being used at the moment, and they just kind of slowly use the power, especially our induction furnace. This little guy over here, there he is, he moved. I moved him, which has a little bit of glass in there. He does constantly use a little bit of power to just keep up its heat. So I also went ahead and placed some of these technical blocks here just because I thought they looked kind of cool. I figure it kind of goes a little, you know, all right with the RF monitor. Might play around with some other ideas in the future, but also underneath we have our oil drum sending our oil up to our refinery with the liquid transposer. Probably going to change that out for a transfer node at some point. Just not, I do like the transfer nodes, or actually, not those transfer nodes, not the transfer nodes. I meant the these things, the liquid translocators. So many T's today, and I do like them. It's just, I don't know. I just kind of feel the transfer nodes a little bit more myself. So I'm going to let that do its thing. We got our power set up. Next up, I want to set some auto processing going, and that would be for our ores. So anytime I have like ores that I decide to go ahead and put in our system, I want them to automatically head over to our pulverizer and then make their way to our induction furnace, and then from there go into our system to be properly sorted. So that's kind of the deal here. I want to get that up and running. For that, I'm assuming I'm going to want to probably move my induction furnace down just a little bit. So I want to pick him up like this. Place him there. All right, not too bad. I think we could actually break this and then maybe have this on the front. Do I want to put this on the front maybe? Or maybe on the side? Oh man, I can't do that. Actually, I don't know. I might be able to cheat it in a little bit, because you can do this if you do it right. Let's see if we can. Nice. All right, so we got that hooked up, and then all I have to do is place these blocks over it. It's a little cheaty, but it works. And last block. There we go. Nice. All right, so it kind of runs through the block there. No big deal. We do have our power coming in constantly. We just have to feed it its redstone signal. There we go. That'll keep this guy's heat up and running, and hopefully, there we go. Going up, back up. Nice. We just need to get ourselves some more item ducts real quick. I don't think I have any on me. This is kind of what I was thinking about having this look like. I might replace it with glass. I'm not sure yet. I do want to do a little bit more sorting around, but for now, it's doing all right. So let's go ahead and request 5 of these for now. See, this system's nice. I like it. It's doing its job effectively. All right, and we'll poke that guy right there. Then, next off, what we have to do is find a way for us to actually send our items to our pulverizer. And I'm thinking I might actually pick these up and move them. Maybe find a different place I could route the power to. That's what I'd like to do. I just don't know if I am going to be able to. Got a little bit of pulverized copper in here. I have actually done a little bit of processing since last episode, like in our magma crucible. I got a whole bunch of destabilized redstone ready to go. I also have a few buckets of blazing pyrotheum in there from our magma crucible, and I'm just letting them sit in there currently because I am in the process of doing some other kind of like crafting off camera, just because a lot of the stuff I am making I've already kind of made. I am working towards upgrading my jetpack, hopefully into this guy, the advanced nano chest plate. This little guy is going to provide us with our armor that we're wanting on our chest, as well as our flight. And I'm hoping it is as good as I remember it being. It's been a while. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and get this up and running. I might need to move a few things because I want to be able to access one side of this. I'm thinking I might have to break here. Hello? Where'd the block? I guess I got it already. Okay. Well then. And we'll just kind of run this down through here. Might have to, like I said, might have to do a little bit more reorganizing. But this should work, something like this. And then hopefully we can just, put a cover up on this so we don't have to see that in our processing room there. And that way this guy will get power. And then we'll set this up properly in a minute. I didn't want this to export because I do want the copper version of this. So we'll go ahead and set that back up as is. I'll make a separate pulverizer or something later so that way we can actually make things like our dusts and all of that good stuff. So I'm just going to put some of this stuff away because I know I'm kind of getting my inventory all full up on other junk that I don't need at the moment. All right, so we do need another logistics chassis pipe. So let's go ahead and clear that out. And I believe we have those guys in here. Let's put these up here. Hide this. And let's find us the chassis. So I believe we want a Mark II. All right, I can actually just make this myself. We'll go ahead and grab ourselves a couple of these. So that guy. We're going to need a few pieces of iron. Should be good. Nice. 2 of those just in case. And I believe as far as modules are concerned, we have a provider module. I think I want to make a different type of module for this one. Let's make ourselves an extraction module. Let's see, where do we have extractor module? Advanced extractor module. I believe I want to try to go with at least an MK2 or MK3 in this case. So let's go ahead and see what we need for the MK3. This is the fastest one, and I do like the sound of something being very fast here. We're going to need iron, lapis, and a blank module. All right, blank module. We're also going to need a gold and diamond chipset. So let's go ahead and clear this out, go back here, and we should be able to just like click through this to get the requested items we need. Done. Bam. I like it. And lapis. I guess we'll just have to request that. Oh, I forgot to grab the iron one. Need an iron one too. Unless I already have them and I just kind of overlooked it. But let's grab 2 of those guys. Success requested. And then next we just need to get rid of this. Put that guy in there. Upgrade him to the Mark II version, and then upgrade this guy to the Mark III version. And what this is going to do is pretty much say that whatever our logistics chassis pipe is hooked up to, this little guy right there, if we put this module in there, it's going to automatically extract from whatever's in here and place it into the correct inventory of wherever it goes. And I'm hoping that actually works. So let's do a little test real fast. Let's jump up here. And I'm just going to take some tin. Got plenty of it. Let's go ahead and toss this into the pulverizer real quick. It's going to do its thing. It's going to send over to our induction furnace. Should quickly smelt right up. It's going to take a second to go through that slow item duct there, but is it going to pull out? Okay, might have to do a little bit of looking here. Let's see, extractor MK3. Default extract. South. Might have to do it on the side, maybe? I was hoping this would work. I haven't tried this yet. The extractor should pull from the inventory in there, I'm hoping. All right, let me try not to break my induction furnace. Let's put this guy on the side here and just see if this works. I think if we do that, maybe it works on the sides only? Or maybe it just doesn't even work with logistics pipes. I don't know. If it doesn't, hopefully I can figure something out. It doesn't really seem to be doing what I was hoping it would. We can use the extractor module anyway, because I would like a system set up with this. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into play at the moment. Say, for instance, you know, we have a chest sitting here. Do I want it right here? Let me also go ahead and pick this chest up, move him there. And we'll go ahead and do this. And I'm going to have to get back there and clean that up in a minute, but we'll set that up right there. Something like so. And we'll just say, for instance, this guy. We'll go ahead and go extractor module. As you can see, it's quickly, you know, just sending all of the items out that it knows where they go to, and it's automatically placing them in the correct inventory. So if we say, for instance, pull out some iron, you know, we already know where the iron goes. It goes in the iron slot in our compacting drawer, or not compacting drawer, our storage drawer. If we put that in there, it's automatically going to get exported out. And that's what I was kind of hoping it would do with this, but maybe it doesn't know where the tin goes because of it being a different kind of tin. Let's take a look and see what kind of tin we actually have. That could be a problem. Let's take a look. I believe tin is over here somewhere. Yeah, tin. Tin is right there. Yeah, see, this is industrial craft tin. Let's pull out one of these, and we're going to switch this up. This is ore dictionary, so we can go ahead and change the ones that we currently had, the industrial craft, to the thermal expansion ones. And we're going to try this one more time, like so. And we're going to steal that module over here, this extraction module. We'll make another one in just a second. We're just going to steal him for a moment. See if that's exactly what the problem was. It was. Nice. So we do have a system that can work like this. That's what the problem was. I was unaware. There we go. Get it up and running. That's what I like to see. Now we just have to send a system to where it knows to take all of our items from here and place them, like our ores and stuff. So it knows to place them into our pulverizer. Now this is just kind of getting a little weird back here, I think. How do I want to redo this? Thinking something like this, maybe. Go up. There we go. That makes everything happy. There's just too much going on there, and I was, yeah, not a big fan of that. So, all right. This does get a little weird back here. It's getting very, very, very tight, very squishy. We got to get this all fixed up and stuff. All right. Let's see. Next off, I want to make another module. This time, I want to make a active supplier module, I believe it is. So let's see. I'm sure there's probably other modules to do some of this better than this, but this is just kind of what I'm aware of at the moment and how I would do it. So yeah, there we go. Let's go with that. Rose red blank module and iron chipset. Super easy. We got most of this already ready to go. Already ready. It's already ready. There we go. A little bit of red on the side. And our iron chip set up here. This will give us our passive supply module. Let's go ahead and actually open this up. Let's take a look at this. Requested items. Okay. So this is a passive supplier. I'm assuming we might actually be able to use this. All right, let's jump into our chest here. In fact, let's actually just clear the inventory. I love that. That was so beautiful. And I'm going to take one of each of these ores, and we're going to place it inside of our passive supplier module. So things that we actually want processed, like our aluminum, we want tin, iron, lead, silver, gold, things like ferrous. I want that to be processed separately. That way we can, utilize the most out of our shiny ore and all of that. So let's see, what else do we have? We got these. No, I don't need all of those. Lead. I'm pretty sure there's some more that I'm missing that I'd like to do. Or, well, let's just do this for now, because I think these are pretty much the main ones that I want to use. Let's grab out of our bag, because I know I put them in here. Basic logistics pipes, and I need another chassis, actually. I love how easy these chassis are to make. So helpful. All right, we need this guy. Put that in there. 2 of you. Trying to get used to using this thing, though. This is a real change for me. All right. So everything's already set up in our module. All we have to do is work on connecting this up to our system here. All right, so we got this, and we're also going to need some pipes. Okay. How do I want to go down? Because this is going to be a little bit of a tricky system here. I might have to move the barrel there. Let's move, let's go ahead and move this. I need to set this up and hook this up to our system as well, so we have access to cobblestone. But once we place these in here, we also need to get in the back of the pulverizer, set this to blue, so that way this is gonna hook up for us. In fact, let's go ahead and break and replace this, so it recognizes what it actually needs to do. Oh, there we go. Hook up this guy, just like so, and there we have it. Let's go ahead and place in this, and hopefully in a minute, once we hook up that chest over there, or place these inside of another chest. Actually, you know what? One way we can get it to working real quick, just as a demonstration, is setting this up to a provider module. Will that work? Maybe I need to go and use the active supply module. So include. Might need to go check on our other one too real quick. Take a quick look-see over here. Passive supply module. Oh, it reset. I thought it kept all of that. Why did it reset? Thought it would keep all of its info inside. That's strange. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. No big deal. We're just going to grab everything that we had, which I believe this was it. Just these 5. Because the rest of them I'm not worried about. And then this way, hopefully once this is done, all said and done, we don't have to worry about processing ores anymore. All right, let's go ahead and jump in here. Can we just shift click them in there? No, of course not. Never want to make life easy. There we go. And do you work now? Hello? No? No? Pretty sure we still have the, we still have the provider module on this guy. I was gonna say, because we should be able to see all the ores, so the network is seeing the ores in the system. All right, let me poke around with this for just a minute, guys. I might have to swap this to the active one. Let's actually just test that real quick. We should be able to just do it. I think we need the active one. Let's do that. Did it retain items to keep stocked? Well, that might just work. Let's open it up and see. Let's do aluminum ore, iron ore, tin ore, silver ore, and lead. Did you work this time? Oh, look at that! Look at all this stuff coming, guys. Look at that. That is so cool. Now, my question is... Oh, cool. You can see the little... Okay, I was wondering about that, where all the extra items were going. Uh-oh. Yeah, we might need to fix that. I was wondering about that. Yeah, I gotta fix that. You can see the items working here, and that's doing a good job, but as far as them actually going in here, that's a little bit of an issue, so I need to figure out what to do there. I was kind of hoping this would work. All right, guys, I'm going to poke around with this for just a minute, and then we'll be back in a second. Hopefully, I can kind of get this figured out a little bit more. Be back in just a minute. All right, guys, and we're back. I decided to make a new iron chest here. Well, actually, no, I did steal it from down there just because it was empty. But this is actually what I'm going to go with here. There might be a different way of doing this, might be a better way of doing this, but I'm going to go with this method just because I want to. So I have my passive supplier module set up here. I'm going to place this guy right there. And then here in a moment, we should just start seeing all of our ores that are set up inside of there to make their way into the chest here. That is really, really cool. Look at that. Unfortunately, though, I think... Whoa. Interesting. Okay, maybe I need to fix this, because it's like probably going... I don't know what's going on. I might need the other one. All right, hold on. Let's go ahead and pull this guy out. Pull you out. I'm going to place you inside, and we're going to tell you to... Infinite. Whatever you have, place it in here. That's what we're going to go with. There we go. That should work better. And then that way it's not sending a whole bunch of little items, like small boxes of them at a time, like pretty much what was just happening. It's basically saying, hey, keep one of these in the inventory at all times. So now we can just see full stacks of these things getting pulled out at once. Check that out. Nice. And if we come back up here, they should just be up here in the chest here, waiting for us. Look at that. So we got a large buffer here, really nice buffer of ores that we can just sit here and let process inside of our pulverizer. Check it out. So it's slowly but surely doing its thing, making its way to our induction furnace. And now we do have a little bit of a secondary problem here. Our silver ore doesn't know where to go because it's doing the same thing that our tin ore did earlier. So this is the little issue we're going to be having, and I'm going to have to process through all of the ores and see exactly which ones do what. So I'm thinking this is our silver. It is. So I'm just going to place this silver in there. We're going to put that in there, and as we can see, it made its way right in there. I like it. Look at it go. That is so cool. We should see 2 more coming in. Awesome. Yes, we got ore processing up and running. I like it. This is nice. Sweet. So anytime I have anything, I'll just place it inside of this chest here. Unfortunately, I guess I did not put gold in there. I did forget to do that. Like I said about the ferrous, I'm not worried about that at the moment, just because I'm probably missing a couple other ores also, but this will be quite all right. All we gotta do is do that, and we should have the gold coming in. Awesome. I like it. This is so cool. Yes, auto processing. I love it. There's a couple other things I'd like to do too real quick before we finish off for today. Last episode we made a crafting logistics pipe from our soldering station. Well, I say for our soldering station. And what I want to do is I actually want to go through a small process real quick to hopefully get us started on a little bit of auto crafting. Now, unfortunately, this method is kind of boring, having to make our gears this way. There's actually a couple different ways we could go about doing this, but I think it might be kind of fun if we do this. So I'm going to go ahead and run through real quick. I'm going to make some item ducts. I hope this actually works. I have not tested this whatsoever. And the problem with what I want to do is there's a whole bunch of different gears that we can actually make, like electrum gears, invar gears, iron gears, copper gears, and all of that. The problem with crafting logistics pipes and crafting and logistics pipes altogether is that it only does one at a time. So I'm hoping to actually remedy that with some item ducts. And for this, we're going to need some hardened glass. We're going to need lead and tin plates. Okay. Oh. A little bit of an issue there. We need some more tin plates. Do we have any tin plates in here? We do not. We do have 2 different types of tin in here, though. I'll go ahead and take the Tinker's Construct. Toss this into our metal former real quick. Let it do its thing. And what else do we need? A piece of lead? Okay. I can do that. We got a processing of that coming in, so it makes life easier on this part. A little bit of that. And we should be able to craft up real quick some item ducts. What are we missing? Oh, we needed another tin plate. Forgot to grab it. There we go. And 6 more item ducts. Now, what's the plan on these guys? Well, I should have a secondary servo in here. I'm just going to go ahead and do 1 for now and see if I can actually get this up and running. Let's see. So, let's say, for instance, we want to make an electrum gear, because we're probably going to need those at some point. We're probably going to need some of, like, all of the gears at some point. I'm going to see if I can get this going. So, I am going to have to run some cables down here from this side here, and I'm probably going to need more room than this, because we're going to try to make a line of these and see if this goes the way I want it to. For now, let's just do this. Okay. We're just going to test this and see if we can actually get this running. All right, so we're going to place that there. That should import the items into our smeltery. That's what I'm hoping for. And then here, as you can see, it does hook up. That's a really nice sign here. We got a crafting logistics pipe hooked up to an item duct. Cool. All right, that does not work, though. Okay, maybe we don't need that. Maybe, just maybe, we don't need the servo, which would make life a lot better for us. A lot better, actually. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Let's right-click on this guy. We want to set inputs on this 4. So we click that a few times. And we should just have to set up now an actual electrum gear. Do we actually have an electrum gear? We do not. All right, let's go ahead and make one real quick. That's another thing I wanted to do too today, real quick, guys. I want to show you emptying out the fuel out of here. And maybe instead, let's let that just do its thing. I want to make another seared tank real quick. We should have enough of this stuff. I need 8 of these guys and a piece of glass. So let's come up here and request one of those real quick. Piece of glass. Boom. Done. Glass. Center. Seared brick. Out edges. This. We're going to need a bucket real quick. Seriously? Wow. Gave me a book right there. All right, we're going to need this, because this is what I want to use this blazing pyrotheum for. So let's toss this in here. We're going to use this as a fuel for our smeltery. This should last a little bit longer, and I'm hoping it actually increases the speed at which certain items are smelted inside of the smeltery here. So if we place this in, all right, nice. We can see that doing its thing. If we right-click on here, look how quickly the electrum is being processed. That's pretty fast. And our fuel, not going down super quick, but it does make things a lot better. Now we can actually melt things like glowstone in here. We can melt things like, oh nice, it's auto-pouring for us. We can melt things like glowstone and redstone inside of the smeltery, but don't really have any plans of doing that at the moment, because we have our other machines for that. I got another piece of pyrotheum there. Now, where is our gear? There it is, electrum gear. All right, so if we open up our crafting pipe here and say output being an electrum gear, I'm hoping that if we come over here that this will work. If not, I'm going to try to find something. So let's go ahead and try this. I want to request 1 electrum gear. Let's see what happens. Are they inside of the smeltery? No, they're not. Okay, well, I think maybe it didn't connect up to the item duct properly, so let's try a chest. We're gonna try a chest instead, and then we'll hook this up to... Oh, nice, there it is. Perfect. So this is what I was a little worried about, unfortunately. I was hoping we could set up this whole system on a whole bunch of these, like, item dunks here and just make a whole bunch of these crafting logistics pipes. But now it looks like we might have to do something a little different. So I'm gonna have to work on this a little bit, but it is a form of auto crafting. So all I have to do is like request it from our system. It's automatically gonna send it to our smeltery. It's gonna pour it out into the gear cast and then automatically export it into the chest where we will have another gear. So I do like this system. I do wanna work around with this a little bit more, but for today, that's gonna be it. I wanna say thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any helpful tips, tricks, or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section down below. If you guys would rate the video, I'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you guys then. Goodbye.